Hi everyone, my name is Mariecon Alfonso from SNED, and today I am going to discuss the function and types of grading and reporting system. But before that, before I am going to discuss those functions and types of grading and reporting system, let's have first a brief overview about what is grading and reporting in learning. So, according to Frisbee and Wallman 1992, grades provide a snapshot of students' achievement on assignments, performances, and examination. Grade symbolizes the level of achievement of a particular task and communicate both to teachers and students whether or not the student has met the instructional goals set. In assessing students' performance, it is essentially to know how the students progressing in a particular course. In line with this, it is also determine how the teacher is performing in a specific learning process. Of course, the primary step in assessment is testing. There are a lot of testing method. The test can either perform in a way of pencil paper objective test or performance-based test procedure. After testing, it is where the decision made on how the performance of the student will be graded. So, over the course of many years, grading system has gradually changed or evolved in different schools all over the world. In American, their grading systems are expressed in terms of letters. Example, A, B, B plus, B minus, E, D, and down the line. While in the Philippines, some institutions or university, their grading system expressed by means of 8 points system. For example, 1, 1.25, 1.75, 2, 2.25, and down the line. And as for K-12 curriculum for basic education, student performance are expressed by means of level of proficiency. We have the beginning, developing, approaching proficiency, proficient, and advanced. Now we're done discussing the now we're done discussing what is grade and reporting in learning. Now let's proceed to the functions of grading and reporting system. So the first function of grading and reporting system is the enhancing students' learning. So how grading and reporting system we're going to enhance the learning of the students. Grading and reporting system can help to enhance the learning of the students because it can show the strengths and weaknesses of the student. Through grading and reporting system, it allows students to distinguish what are the areas that they are struggle the most or having hard time, as well as the area they are good at or comfortable of learning. Through this, they could be able to enhance their overall learning because they have this information or data on what areas are they going to improve and to develop more. Next, grading and reporting system can enhance students' learning because it can clarify instructional objectives. So, we all know that learning process has its own goal or target to achieve. Instructional objectives deals about what is supposed to learn by the student in the specific course. So through grading and reporting system, a student can able to clarify or clear things about the said instructional objective, and as the result, it will enhance their overall learning. So next is enhancing students' motivation. So through grading and reporting system, it allows students to somehow see it as an opportunity to them to be more motivated so that the next time that they are going to perform, they will more eager or driven. And when that happens, it will definitely enhance their overall learning. The last one is indicating where teaching might be modified. Grading and reporting system can be a basis or guide to the teachers or the students, that I in such way they can able to find other learning strategies that can able or that is applicable or able to apply in a learning or in the classroom. Now let's proceed to the second function of grading and reporting system, which is the reports to parents and guardians. So report are very important to parents and guardians so that they will inform about the performance of their children. And as we all know, parents and guardians are also essential key ingredients on the success of the curriculum. Grading and reporting system inform parents and guardians of the student about his or her progress, and it allows parents to determine whether their children performing well or not inside the class. So communicate objectives and communicate how well objectives being met. Of course, if their children are performing well or not, parents need to be informed about the objectives. It is very important that they know the objectives of the class so that they could be able to help their children to perform well and to meet those objectives. So through grading and reporting system, it will help parents, but it will help not just the parents, but also the students. So if the objectives were not met, the parents can do some plans or adjustment, or they could be able to help their teachers, the teachers of their children, to plan or do some adjustment so that the objective will achieve or met. Now let's proceed to the third function of grading and reporting system. The third function of grading and reporting system is administrative and guidance uses. So the administrative and guidance uses purpose of grading and reporting system consists in helping to decide promotion, graduation, honors, athletic eligibility. Of course, as we all know, students are having their best to perform inside the class. Of course, at the end of the school year, they will recognize, and it is very important in grading and reporting system to determine and to decide promotion for the student who will be graduated or graduating with honors, who will be the athletic of the year. And the next is provide input for realistic educational, vocational, and personal counseling. As we all know, there are instances that grades reflect our performance. Although it will not determine our intelligence, but somehow it will reflect our overall performance. So if you have students who is performing not that good inside the class, for example, his grades are not that good, and also he's not participating inside the class, so it will provide input for realistic educational, vocational, and personal counseling. And that's it for the grading and reporting functions of grading and reporting system. Take note, grades and reports cards should promote and enhance learning rather than frustrate and discourage students, because at the end of the day, we have to tell our students and we have to make them realize that grades are given for them to improve, and it should not be burden for them to stop on studying, because they have this feeling that they are not good enough, that they are not deserving. As teacher, they are not deserving. So as teacher, it is also our role to motivate or encourage them to promote that whether they have received whether they receive a low or high grade, there has a purpose. Since we're done discussing the functions of grading and reporting system, let's now proceed to the types of grading and reporting system. So again, the aim of grading and reporting is to provide results of a assessment in a brief and understandable for varied uses. Grading is one of the activities of a classroom to professionally judge the achievement of the student. It is the process of judging the quality of the performance of the students. This involves the collection and evaluation of groups recording the performance and performance or achievement of the learners. And so, in grading and reporting system, there are types, mainly the 6 types of the grading and reporting system. So now let's discuss it one by one. So the first type of grading and reporting system is the traditional letter grade system. So traditional letter grade system, the most common and the best known of all grading method. It's composed of 5-level grading scale. The performance of the students are summarized by means of letter, where A stands for excellent, B stands for above average, C stands for average, D needing improvement, and A as a failure. Yes, this grading and reporting system has limitation or disadvantage. This system is hard to interpret since it only uses letters. It doesn't provide explanation on how that student end up getting that particular grade. It is easy to manipulate because it is often subjective. Now let's proceed to the next type of grading and reporting system. We have the pass or fail. This type of grading and reporting system, it operates, or the pass and fail system operates on a binary way of grading. So when you say binary, it only involves 2 things. It's either pass or fail. It is popular in elementary and college. It doesn't need letter grade in college transcript. It is more in this system, you will simply graded system earn credit depending on your performance, whether you did satisfactory work in class or not. Of course, this type of reporting and grading and reporting system has cost or disadvantage. First, it doesn't provide much information. It doesn't provide concise figure of students' performance level. It also leaves mystery of which area should student be work on. In addition, it also makes student less competitive, motivated to strive hard in e-learning. So the next type of grading and reporting system is the checklist of objectives. Checklist of objectives in grading and reporting system. To provide more informative progress report, some schools have replaced supplemented the traditional grading system with a list of objectives to be checked or rated. These report typically include ratings of progress towards the major objectives in each subject matter area. These systems where the level of achievement of the students is indicated. This type of grading and reporting system has a limitation because it consumes a lot of time to prepare, and it having a problem in keeping the list manageable and understandable. So the fifth type of grading and reporting system is the portfolio. So portfolio are useful for showing student strengths and weaknesses, illustrating range of students' work, showing progress over time. It is more a set of purposefully selected work with commentary by student and teacher. Just like the other types of grading and reporting system. So the uses of portfolio and the learning of the student. It shows student strengths and weaknesses. It illustrates range of students' work, showing progress over time or stages of the project. It also teaches students about the objectives or standards that they are going to achieve. The last or the sixth type of grading and reporting system is the parent-teacher conference. It is mostly used in elementary school, and during the discussion, together with the teachers, parents, and the student, the basis of their discussion, or the common basis of their discussion is the portfolio of the student or the learner. So this type of grading and reporting system has limitation as well as usage. So let's first discuss the usage of this type of grading and reporting system. It is two-way flow of information. It gets more information and cooperation from parents. So the limitation is it consumes a lot of time and it provides systematic record of progress, and some parents won't come to discuss it. So that's all for the types of the grading and reporting system. So again, there are 6 types of grading and reporting.